I listen to music all the time. In the car, at home, sleeping, or while solving complex quadratic equations. However, there is one thing I constantly wonder about. अगर इसने ये गाना बनाया इसकी personality क्या कमाल होगी? To find this out, we went on a search, but couldn't really find anything. And that is why we create Music Underground, a series जहां आप जान सकते हैं अपने favorite music artists और उनकी struggles के बारे में.
Oh man, you can't talk to me like this. I was like,
Who wants to be in a band that nobody likes and nobody wants to like book a show with, right?
My family has always kind of been steeped in the arts. Me and my brother Yusuf, we went to this EP concert of all things. Me and Yusuf were obsessed with this one song, Kahan Hai Tu. That was a song that had a really interesting drum intro, and me and Yusuf would just, bang our hands on the table trying to do that little drum intro, and we just kind of realized that the drums as an instrument was really attracting us.
I come from a family of artists, and my dad, Fazan Pirzada, he ran a company called Rafi Peer Theatre Workshop, and the year I was born was the year that the first festival happened, right? So I was exposed from the very beginning to the performing arts.
I got into music at the age of 13. Basically, I got an acoustic guitar. I pestered my mom to get me an acoustic guitar. Thodi Islami si hai, but she was encouraging enough ke acha chalo le deti hu, kya, what's the worst that can happen.
I have been a singer-songwriter, producer for the past 10 years, working in the local Karachi scene. I was also doing session work for Umair Jaswal. He needed another guitarist. So the first thing that I said was Zain Pirzada. I didn't know Zain us waqt. And he was like, okay, call him. The call was ke tu aaj raat ko aa sakta hai? And he landed in Karachi and just came to my place, and that's where he stayed for the next 3-4 days. That's sort of where I found out a lot more about Takatak, and eventually it sort of led to a point where he was like, why don't you just join the band?
After we made the first 3 songs as Takatak, we kind of noticed that there were people in Pakistan that actually, wanted some kind of metal representation, and they used to tell us that we're one of the few bands that actually gave a shit about metal. People in Pakistan are not really willing to give metal that much of a chance, because our music, music culture is so steeped in what's already established.
I mean, around 2018, we had been a band for about 8 years or so. That's when we were called to perform at Lahore Music Meet. One of the directors at the festival, she called and she was like, hey, you guys want to headline this year? For us, Lahore Music Meet is the epitome of independent music festivals, right, in Pakistan. Prior to us being called there to perform, to headline, और बहुत ज़्यादा cool bands कर चुके थे. So being on that stage was like, oh, because dude, you have to understand, being a metal band in Pakistan means that you don't really fit in anywhere, right? कोई और metal bands नहीं, it's not like a metal concert. It's like an independent music festival जहाँ लोग अपनी ukuleles वगैरह के साथ आए, and then you go and just trash that place with your noise, right? We haven't had bad stage experiences. हाँ, sure, एक दो दफ़ा लोगों ने लुड्डियाँ आके डालनी है stage के सामने, maybe they were enjoying it, maybe they were making fun of us.
हमारा live का हमेशा sound का issue होता है, because जितना heavy भी आप अपने सर में सोचते हो कि होगा और बस आगे स्टेज फट रहा होगा और लोग बस यूँ उड़ रहे होंगे, असल में वो नहीं होता. LMM हमने बजाया था पहला बाहर आउटसाइड स्टेज, एंड वहाँ का जो साउंड गया था ना, वो बस मेरे पास आया. लाइक सर जी मैंने समझ नहीं आई थी कि हुआ है, बट आज तक मैंने ऐसी चीज़ कभी नहीं देखी, तो मज़ा आ गया.
There was this festival in Islamabad. That was the first ever gig where I was just the vocalist. because with every other act, I'm either the guitarist or the bassist or playing the ukulele or an acoustic guitar or something. This was the first time where I didn't have that thing to secure me, to protect me, so that was kind of a strange thing, but it was a lot more high energy than I had expected it to be.
There's a school in Peshawar. They invited Takatak for a gig. They weren't really expecting to, win over this crowd because it's Peshawar and they all had preconceived notions about people there, the kind of the music they enjoyed. Apparently, they loved Takatak. It was kind of resonating with them, the energy on stage, they were kind of taking that in and people started headbanging.
थोड़ा सा हमारा loner scene है, we're not gonna get booked for a food fest जहाँ अब्दुल्ला कुरैशी और बयान बजा रहे होंगे. They're all my friends. Takatak is not a product that you can sort of put anywhere. Indie band, sure, you can fit in there because it's not ये क्या है, right? It brings me to the other thing. कि यार आप उर्दू में क्यों नहीं करते and ये and वो. It's like, dude, I want to play in places where people understand कि मैं बक क्या रहा हूँ, वरना फायदा क्या है मुझे करने का, right?
Most of us have jobs and we kind of have to sideline all those responsibilities to focus on a Pakistani metal band. It's been very gratifying seeing the kind of response we've gotten, especially after this last album that we've put out.
Do I have a day job? Yes. I teach music at a school to children. Music still became the thing that, because it's the most fun I can imagine having.
Culturally, playing metal in Pakistan हमेशा से एक वो रहा है कि maybe it's not a mass appeal song, mainstream नहीं है, people don't get it, but ये एक चीज़ है कि at gigs shock value हमेशा होती है. Even people who don't understand it, they connect with that energy at least.
When Fault Lines came out from the first single from Acrophase, that song featured Keshav Dhar and Shamsher Rana. That song came out and Spotify picked it up for all the huge metal playlists. So I woke up and hamara gana was sandwiched between Avenged Sevenfold and Lamb of God in an official Spotify playlist.
It's just been very humbling that so many people are identifying with the music.
I'm not really in a good position to gauge where this band can go, and I don't want to put a ceiling on it. But Takatak's been sort of one big achievement throughout.
5 years ago, I couldn't have. If someone told me you're going to be, in Rolling Stone India, you're going to be in the Spotify playlist with all these, you're going to be working with Keshav Dhar, I'd be like, dude, koi scene nahi hai, bakwas na karo. So I just fingers crossed.
देखते हैं क्या होता है.